I've been to a lot of airsoft games, operations, and events. Now, a good number of them are marketed as a military simulation or MilSim event. While most did an excellent job of creating a large-scale military battle, at times though, these battles seemed like a never-ending BB fest of loosely organized units clashing over unknown objectives. This may leave some players wanting more. More restrictions on ammo, more emphasis on unit cohesion, more immersion into other aspects of battle other than the battle itself. Enter MilSim West.
Hey guys, I'm Eric with MilSim West. I'm one of the directors here.
I'm Brian. I co-founded MilSim West with Josh, and I'm also one of the directors.
I'm Josh. I co-founded MilSim West with Brian, and I'm one of our 3 directors.
So MilSim West, it's basically a 40-hour military simulation series that we do, and we really try to take MilSim to the next level. One of the great things that Josh brings to the group is a background in the theater, and so we really try to adhere to this thing called the suspension of disbelief, where if we can't recreate what it would feel like in the real world, we're not going to do it. So we've really taken that concept and tried to push the bounds of what it's like to be in a MilSim event, from limited ammo rules to the leadership structure to how strict we are with kit and gear to how we stage the missions and really give you real-world missions and focus on using the Army's 5-paragraph op order and just really giving you the sense and the feel of what it's like to be an actual NATO or Russian or militia type of soldier engaged in an armed conflict. And so we try to bring all those things together and sort of push the boundaries of sometimes safety, I'd say, but right on the cusp, but it's not unsafe, and really try to give you something that's fully immersive.
Something that we try to do to make our events unique is really engage the military community. Eric's an Army officer, and I'm a former Ranger from C Company 2nd Ranger Battalion, which is what I did basically before I BB Wars. What I try and do, and Eric and I try and do, and we all try and do, is engage the people we know through our military circles and get it so that we have a very high ratio of military admins to players. So for every 35 players, there's going to be one guy who is legitimately an infantryman, who are going to help mentor those players and both play the game with them, but also teach them real military tactics, teach them real military troop leading procedures, teach them TTPs and SOPs, so that when they walk away from the game, it's not really about like who won, who lost. It's about how did our engagements go, how were our procedures, were they good, right? Were they bad? What did we do right? What did we do wrong? And there's really somebody there whose profession legitimately is the light infantry. And when you engage people that have real professional experience with that, they can bring a whole lot to the table. So it's nice to see guys from both sides of the fence come together and realizing what MilSim does have to offer, both for fun and for training.
I'm Brian from MilSim West. One of my favorite things we do at our events is nothing's notional. Whether it's mortars, call for fire, those are all integrated into the event with tools that we use like radios, for instance, or SOI tables. Like I can't show Eric this, but for NATO we use like I have this wrist commander here with like a salute report, lace report, grid cipher, as well as revolving SOI for each NATO platoon and command net. So even if the Russians were to look at this, they wouldn't necessarily understand what was going on, but NATO does. And that's, I think it adds a whole other level of complexity and dynamic to our event that I don't think exists anywhere else.
Okay, we already know the situation as it stands. There's no change to the war no, right? Russian forces, naval infantry, and FSB security troops are occupying the town of Kacha and the surrounding airfield just north of Sevastopol. Our mission, Task Force Viking, conducts airborne assault vicinity of the town of Kacha no later than 2300 in order to destroy the enemy radar station at Kacha. Execution. We're going to jump in 5 chalks, right? We're jumping in 5 chalks, with first spread out between the first 2, second spread out between the second 2, third spread out between the third 2, and then fourth will be between the second to last and the last. We're jumping 5 chalks in 2 different DZs. Now, keep a good idea of your bearings out there, because you may not end up in the right DZ. After we jump, You will assemble at the company assembly area, marked by blue chems. We're going to move generally from the southeast and assault the town from phase line turnbuckle southeastwards to suplex, body slam, and then eventually to knockout.
Time is now 19:19. That's 7 p.m. for you non-military types. As you can see behind me, the NATO forces are staging right now. We're getting ready to make the jump into Crimea, or the jump into the AO. And the crazy thing about this is we're going to be physically getting into the back of a truck and jumping out of this moving truck to simulate an airplane jump.
C-130 roll down the strip. Airborne Rangers gonna take a little trip. Airborne Rangers gonna take a little trip. Mission unspoken, destination unknown. Mission unspoken, destination unknown. Outboard personnel, stand up.
Stand up!
Stand up! Hook up!
Hook up!
Check static line!
Check static line!
One minute!
One minute!
Go! Go!
Oh, hang on. F***ing med bag.
Gas! Go! My gas! Go! Go! Go!
Ugh.
Who's this? Henry! 240, hit those right windows! 240, push! One more, go!
He's going in! Right, you got me that?
Who wants to come over here? Oi, mate! Come over here!
Go, assault partner! Go!
Hey, fire!
We got friendlies moving on that building.
Watch the left.
Enemy's moving right! On the floor, man! You want to do it now! You want to do it now! On me! Moving! Go, Brian! Alright. She goes! Third, we got it. Go, 1, 2, 3! Move! Forever! Get in! Go!
Alright, it is 3:20 in the morning.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Jesus.
The town is finally secured by NATO forces. We just retrieved our packs that were out in the woods that we left out. Bunked up with a Milsim Australian SASR.
We're gonna be famous. We're gonna be famous. You what?
This is a 40-hour game. That's
ripping all the time.
non-stop. So we gotta set security. Everyone's bunking out right now on the floor.
Where's Brandon? Travis.
eating MREs. This is a true MilSim event.
Left side, direct left. Harrison. Oh, got him. He's down. He's Harrison. Down. Going around the back.